This is week 18. This is CheekyCP. This is the Kanye type beat, 808s and Heartbreaks challenge. I'm going to play my beat and then we're going to talk about how I put this together. So here we go.
Start a screaming party. Love is so cold, secrets untold. Beginning to love the way you break me down. Starting to love the way you break me down. Playing your game, we'll keep it insane. Let's start a screaming party. Love is so cold, secrets untold. Beginning to love the way you break me down. Starting to love the way you break me down. You see me open up my phone, digits placed with names unknown. Taking calls at 3 in the morning. Friends too close in the no friend zone. On and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. Playing your game, we'll keep it insane. Let's start a screaming party. Love is so cold, secrets untold. Beginning to love the way you break me down. Starting to love the way you break me down. You see me open up my phone, digits placed with names unknown. Taking calls at 3 in the morning. Friends too close in the no friend zone. You see me open up my phone, pick save from chicks who want a bone. Taking calls at 3 in the morning. On and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. On and on and on and on.
All right, all right, all right. So that's me as Kanye, as CheekyCP, as Kanye again. All right, I'm gonna break down how I made this beat. All right, so let's check it out.
Break it down.
Break it down, break it down. All right, the first thing you hear is really just keys. Again, some of the characteristics of this album were clean keys, orchestra sounds. So I have like the chamber choir here as well as violins. And I wanted to open it up with just those organic sounds. And then I added in the 808 sounds. So I have a key, a really nice, just a regular grand piano on Logic, and it sounds really crispy. But I added an arpeggiator in here, and shout out to E with the arpeggiator on your track too. That was great. But I wasn't doing anything crazy. It was just really going from high to low on the arpeggiator. So you'll hear that over and over throughout the whole song. In the beginning in these little bridges here. So I'll play that really quick here. Bam. And then you have the violin and the choir basically playing the same type of thing. So it's just accenting the same chord changes. But I have like a 4-bar loop and then it ends with a 2-bar loop. So you can see that this is 4 bars repeated and then a 2-bar loop there. But it sounds really cool when you have the organic sound with the 808 on top of it. which is right here. All right, so then the song comes in, and I'm just gonna kind of rock with the beat just a little bit. So you have your 808, and I have a kick together with the 808, and I have an actual hi-hat that I put distortion on to kind of sound like a snare. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then I have the toms rocking. So just the beat itself sounds like this. So again, like we were just talking about it, not super funky on the toms. It's really just like almost like a, you know, vibe chant type of thing, just accenting what's going on. The main theme to the whole thing is 3-chord change progression. So I'm going to play the cram piano and the beat together with a choir. Sounds like this. Oh, sounds like this. So this chord, I kind of wrote it in a weird way because it's in the key of C minor, but I used some funky chords. I kind of thought of it in the third mode of D sharp major. So I was kind of messing around with the chord changes a little bit. So that's the first chord you hear is that G minor, and then it goes to a diminished chord. So it sounds pretty funky. It sounds really dark. The one thing I want to point out is on this chorus or the choir, I sidechained this against the keys. So what that does is allows the keys to ring through. So on every single one of those stabs, bang, 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 you can actually hear that the choir is going to be limiting. So you'll hear more of the keys shine through, which sounds like this. And it's going to sound dynamically like it's like a wavy little ha, 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 ha. And you hear a lot of that in techno music. You hear everybody talk about side chaining and stuff like that. It's really easy in Logic. You just go to the thing that you want to be limited and you open up the compressor and you click on side chain, which is right here, and you choose which instrument you want to side chain against. So this helps a lot with mixing because all of these frequencies are kind of sharing the same area. And by side chaining, you are reducing that dynamic level a bit. So that way you can have the instruments that you want to shine kind of shine a little bit more on the attack. So that is how you can actually have one sound kind of sit above the mix just a little bit, enough to be a little bit more audible. And together you could barely hear that that's happening, but that's really what's happening in the background. So compression and side chaining, when you have a mix with a bunch of different things, you need to figure out how to use those things together. The next thing that you'll hear is, again, Tron-like sound, synth sounds. We talked about that. This is like one of the key characteristics of that 808 and Heartbreak album. So got the synth pop vibe going along. That was some of his inspiration for making this album. And I was just kind of accenting and making kind of like a melody against those chords. The next thing that you'll hear is my lovely voice with some auto-tune all up in there.
Playing your game, we'll keep it insane. Let's start a screaming party. Love is so cold, secrets untold. Beginning to love the way you break me down. Starting to love the way you break me down.
I had to make sure I go in at the end just to hear the pitch shift. So I put the the auto tune on there, put on distortion. That is the key. You know, Kanye starter pack is auto tune, distortion. The key takeaway is the delay that I put on here is a stereo delay. If you check out the delay, I have the left speaker or the left signal, basically delaying at a different rate than the right signal. The right signal is on a dotted eighth note, and the left signal is at a dotted, or is at an eighth note. So spatially, when you're listening to it, you're going to hear a little echoing at a different rate than this ear. And again, that sounds amazing. It makes the vocals sound really, really cool. So that is my sweet, sweet voice. Then what I did was I wanted to kind of have that intro come in again with those cool chords. And the whole theme of this song is like a toxic relationship type of situation, someone checking someone's phone, seeing shit that they shouldn't see, or that shouldn't be there, I should say. And then, yeah, so I just played on that, and you'll hear some bars by CheekyCP.
You see me open up my phone, digits placed with names unknown, taking calls at 3 in the morning, friends too close in the no friend zone, on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on.
All right. The one thing I want to highlight though is just some of these chords. I used violin, just hitting big pads on those chords, and then the cellos is kind of adding a nice, cool little counter melody.
Playing your game.
All right, and that's how I made this beat.